There's nowhere else in the world I'd rather be.
What could possibly go wrong?
Where do I sign?
Sunday on WOUB.
Tonight on Newswatch, a new law limiting trans rights could face legal challenges before taking effect.
Plus, the growing power of artificial intelligence has many people worried what lawmakers are doing to try and regulate the technology.
And in sports, Ohio men's basketball has hit its stride as it takes on Buffalo tonight at the Convo. Newswatch starts right now.
A new law limiting the health care for trans kids and banning trans athletes from participating in girls' sports is facing new legal opposition. Good evening, I'm Haley Hollinger.
And I'm Silver Barker. Welcome to Newswatch. The American Civil Liberties Union of Ohio is preparing a lawsuit to stop the legislation. It will be filed before the new law goes into effect on April 23rd. The ACLU of Ohio says the law is in violation of an amendment passed in 2011. The law was previously vetoed by Governor Mike DeWine, but the Ohio legislature overrode him. Ohio lawmakers are considering alternatives to lethal injection when it comes to capital punishment. Attorney General Dave Yost and other Republican lawmakers said in a release yesterday they wanted to see death penalty enforcement kick-started. This comes after Alabama's execution last week using nitrogen gas. There are currently 100 men and 1 woman on death row in Ohio, but the state hasn't seen an execution since 2018. A change to Ohio's death penalty code must be passed by both chambers of the Ohio legislature to move forward. A former Ohio lawmaker convicted of a felony is able to run again for office. Ex-Republican Representative Stephen Krause was convicted of theft from an elderly person in July 2015. The Ohio Supreme Court sentenced him to 2 years of probation, a fine, and office removal for the felony charge. Although Ohio prohibits convicted felons from running for office, the court says the potential position doesn't hold enough government control.
Remember to purchase your 2024 Hocking County dog tags by tomorrow. You can purchase tags by visiting the website on your screen, and you can mail your registration to the Hocking County Auditor's Office, or buy your tags in person at the county's Humane Society. And if you received your renewal notice via mail, you can purchase your tags online and receive them by mail. Newswatch forecaster Emily Case is joining us now. Will our dog walks be warm today? That was a bit of a tongue twister.
Yes, we are currently sitting at around 39 degrees. With those overcast skies, we might be seeing some rain later on though, so bring your umbrella if you're going to be walking your dog. Across the nation, we're seeing those mild temperatures compared to what we felt in the mid-January, which is a nice change. Louisville 42, Chicago 39, similar temperatures to what we will be feeling in Athens. We do have a cold front that's moving across the nation, and it's sitting around Indiana, and it's bringing precipitation in front of it. This will be impacting most of Ohio later tonight. And taking a look at temperatures across Athens in across the 24 hours, started around 30 degrees, and then we slowly warmed up, but we're cooling down now as that front is moving through. This is the precipitation that we will be seeing move across the Athens. Southeastern part of Ohio will be experiencing some rain, and the Dayton area, as well as Cincinnati, might be seeing some freezing rain with that. Tonight, anticipate a 34 for that overnight low with a 70% chance of rain, most of that rain occurring before midnight. So tomorrow morning, you shouldn't have to worry about a raincoat or anything like that. And then tomorrow, mostly cloudy, 43 high with that 31 low. Back to you, Silver.
Thanks, Emily. 43 degrees isn't a bad time this year, this time of year. Now, Kentucky employees may soon have expanded access to paid family leave. The bill passed through the House in a 92-1 vote yesterday and now is making its way to the Senate. This proposal would grant voluntary paid family leave to insurance to Kentucky employers. The employer's plan would determine the length of paid leave benefits. The goal is to grant such benefits to more Kentucky workers without imposing on employers. This isn't the only bill being considered. Kentucky lawmakers are also looking at a new bill to expand their school district's bus fleets. Allowing schools to expand their bus fleets is being promoted as a solution to a flawed bus system. The bill is being sent to a Senate committee. The measure's lead sponsor, Democratic Senator David Yates, says the bill would benefit urban and rural districts in the Bluegrass state. He adds it would make student transportation routes safer, more cost-efficient, and faster.
A Kentucky man is now in custody for allegedly killing the mother of his child, and his daughter has been found safe. 42-year-old Byron Black was arrested yesterday by the Kentucky State Police. The police had a warrant for Black in connection to the murder of Kelly Black, which is also when his 5-year-old daughter, Layla, disappeared. An Amber Alert was issued for Layla, who police believed was with her father when they vanished.
We received information about the vehicle being here. Mr. Black had checked into the hotel here. While we were getting ready to make a plan to see how we needed to contact Mr. Black, he walked out of the hotel room and we were able to take him into custody without incident.
When officers caught up to the pair, the child was located safely and the Amber Alert was canceled. Coming up, why lawmakers on Capitol Hill are paying closer attention to artificial intelligence on the internet.
And why one scientist believes he solved the disappearance of Amelia Earhart.
We're going to be seeing some rain this week tonight. Check back my full weather to see if this will persist for the rest of the week.
Are you kidding me?
No.
That's insane.
On Finding Your Roots, Eliza Schlesinger
I always thought I had a very small family that almost came out of nowhere.
and Bob Odenkirk.
Oh, I wish my mom could hear this.
An ancestor's courage
She left her whole family.
She paid for her own ticket.
I'm emotional.
and a royal affair.
Duke of Plune.
She was the Duke's mistress.
Oh, that is crazy.
Tonight at 8 on WOUB.
Sometimes we have to look that monster right in the face. Show we're not afraid of it anymore.
Love is the best thing we have. It's the only thing we have.
No more secrets. I just want to be right here in this moment with you.
I trust nothing untoward has occurred.
Right things ahead, darling. Brightness and joy.
Those that underestimate us should do so at their own peril.
And if they do, so bloody what?
Open your eyes.
Action!
Best episode ever.
In the Sahara Desert,
Fossils are everywhere, telling you what life looked like 40 million years ago.
an incredible discovery
We have a complete skeleton
may reveal the origins
of the prehistoric whale that lived here long time ago.
of the world's largest mammals.
This is so awesome. They're doing everything mammals do, but in the water.
When whales could walk on Nova.
Wednesday at 9 on WOUB.
Images of Taylor Swift were trending this weekend, and not just because of her appearance alongside her boyfriend Travis Kelce after his playoff win. Laura Geary answers why X had to temporarily restrict some Taylor Swift searches for hours and how lawmakers are using it to attempt to regulate AI.
From the president to pop stars to Americans going about their everyday lives, anyone can be targeted by the misuse of artificial intelligence. Over the weekend, X, formerly Twitter, temporarily displayed an error message on searches for some Taylor Swift images after the music icon became the victim of sexually explicit pictures created by AI that have since been taken down.
What happened, fortunately, Ms. Swift is happening to thousands of women across this country each and every day.
Several House Democrats are hopeful Swift's case will re-energize a stalled bill that's focused on regulating the use of AI.
These deepfakes are dangerous.
The proposed Do Not Disturb Act overhauls federal rules regarding robocalls, like the one that falsely portrayed President Joe Biden sent to voters during the New Hampshire primary this month.
It's important that you save your vote for the November election. Voting this Tuesday only enables the Republicans in their quest to elect Donald Trump again.
A CNN review of the bill's summary finds that it expands the definition of a robocall to include any call or text that uses AI or a pre-recorded message. Violators who use AI to impersonate someone in a robocall could face higher fines. And even authorized robocalls would have to disclose any use of artificial technology.
It's going to take the Congress, it's going to take our law enforcement agencies, and it is going to take the private sector to build these safeguards, but then to make sure that they're enforced and that we protect people.
I'm Laura Aguirre reporting.
The Do Not Disturb Act would also require free robocall blocking services to be offered by phone providers and create a public list of the top illegal robocall campaigns. One estimate says around 55 billion robocalls were placed last year in the U.S. alone. A growing TikTok trend might be helping Gen Z become more financially responsible. It's called loud budgeting, and the original video has been viewed more than 1 million times. The TikTok trend is all about talking openly with friends and family about how much money you are willing to spend, when and where. Financial advisors say the accountability is a good step, but budgeters also need to set specific goals and follow through.
One of the key things driving it is this more honest approach to spending money and being more open.
The trend is part of a larger generational shift in spending habits as Gen Z and millennials burdened with record student loan debt and economic instability have learned to tighten their wallets. It also departs from long-held social taboos around discussing money. Etiquette experts say loud budgeting is mostly positive as long as you don't overshare.
Plans to impeach Department of Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas continue. House Republicans are accusing him of high crimes and misdemeanors regarding his handling of the southern border crisis. Julia Benbrook reports from Washington on why the GOP is facing pressure to hold the Biden administration accountable.
The border battle continues on Capitol Hill. Tuesday, Republicans in the House of Representatives took the next step toward impeaching the Secretary of Homeland Security.
Today, we present this committee with the articles of impeachment against Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas.
GOP lawmakers on the Homeland Security Committee claim Mayorkas has committed high crimes and misdemeanors for his handling of the southern border. But a number of constitutional experts say the evidence does not reach that high bar.
We cannot allow fentanyl to flood across our border or criminals to waltz in undeterred. And we cannot allow a cabinet secretary with no regard for the separation of powers or the rule of law to remain in office.
Mayorkas has pushed back against the criticism, and DHS has slammed the inquiry. House Democrats are calling the move toward impeachment a political stunt.
We don't see the high crimes and misdemeanors standard being met. House Republicans have clearly turned their ever-shrinking majority over to the extremists. And this sham impeachment of Secretary Mayorkas is just another sad example.
House Republican leadership has promised to bring articles of impeachment to the floor quickly. Mayorkas would be the first cabinet secretary to be impeached in nearly 150 years. Meanwhile, a group of senators is working to address border security with a bipartisan bill. But after former President Donald Trump started speaking out against an immigration compromise, GOP House Speaker Mike Johnson said that the bill would be, quote, dead on arrival in his chamber. Reporting in Washington, I'm Julia Benbrook.
Millions of people along the West Coast are preparing for severe weather. Flood watches as well as snow and wind alerts are already being issued for the upcoming days, especially focusing on Thursday and into Friday. Millions of people across the West Coast are gearing up for the intense conditions. Newswatch forecaster Emily Case joins me again. Are we going to see any similar weather patterns over here in Ohio?
Yes, thank you, Haley. We will not be experiencing much of the system that's affecting the western coast, but we do have a lot of cloud coverage over Indiana and most of Ohio. This is really due to this frontal system that we're experiencing along the line of Indiana and Ohio. It's bringing with it a cold front that's going to be moving through our region, as well as a lot of precipitation. There's some high pressure along the western coast as well, and the eastern part of the United States. Across the nation, we're experiencing those milder temperatures for late January. Again, 39 in Chicago, 42 in Louisville, similar temperatures to what we are experiencing in Athens. Over the past 24 hours, we hit the mid-30s, and then we increased in temperature to around 40 degrees, and then we're dropping back down as that cold front moves through our region. This is the precipitation that we are going to be seeing due to that low pressure system along Ohio and the Indiana line. In Athens and southeast Ohio, we can experience rain, but in Cincinnati region, in Dayton, even Columbus, you can expect some freezing rain or maybe even snow from this system. Tonight, though, we can anticipate this overnight low of 34 degrees with a 70% chance of rain, most of that rain occurring before midnight. Tomorrow sunrise at 7:34 a.m. You probably won't be able to see it though because those overcast conditions are going to be continuing into tomorrow. Those mostly cloudy skies and that high of 43 with that low of 31. Tonight though, as that cold front makes its way through this region of the United States, Louisville 34 degrees, Chicago 36, again, similar to what we will be experiencing in Athens. Tomorrow though, this low pressure system is going to be making its way out into the ocean, as well as this high pressure that's going to be dominating the United States, dominating Ohio, in the coming days. And tomorrow night, this high pressure is going to be moving out those clouds that we've been experiencing lately. There's this low pressure system up here with a cold front, and that's going to be going up north, so not affecting us too much, but into Wednesday night and early Thursday morning, we might be able to expect some freezing rain from that system, but overall this high pressure is going to be moving those clouds out of our area. Taking a look at our 7-day outlook, again, Wednesday mostly cloudy as that low pressure is keeping those clouds in our area, but through Thursday, Friday, and the rest of the week, we're going to be seeing those sunny skies as that high pressure is going to be pushing those clouds out and bringing in warmer air, though we will be getting cooler at night, so if you're going out, make sure you still bring those coats because that air is not going to be staying warm for long. Back to you, Haley.
Thanks, Emily. A team of explorers from South Carolina believes they solved the decades-long mystery of Amelia Earhart's disappearance. A team of explorers from South Carolina set out on a 3-month expedition in September to try and find her plane. It was a big gamble for Tony Romero, who bankrolled the expedition with $11 million of his own money. But now he says it paid off because they caught sonar images of what looks like a plane similar to Earhart's at the bottom of the Pacific Ocean.
Most believe that she was very close to her destination, and I think it's a testament to how good of a pilot she was. We found the target within about a 100-mile radius of Howland Island, and that's where we've always expected her to be.
The sonar image was taken about 100 miles from the uninhabited island. Romeo says his deep sea vision team hopes to go back to explore the area later this year.
Ohio is above the national average for diseases such as diabetes and cancer, and your blood can help determine if you have those illnesses. Mandy Gaither has 5 reasons why testing your blood can help you stay healthy, especially during the winter season.
In the doctor's office, it's not unusual for your blood to be tested. In fact, it's a critical part of making sure you're healthy.
We often forget about it, but it's really the foundation of everything that we do in medicine.
Pathologist Fiona Craig with Mayo Clinic says blood tests are not only important for routine health, but also for detecting when you're not healthy. One of the most frequently ordered tests is a CBC, or complete blood cell count. It can help determine white blood cell levels, which can signal an infection, and looks at how many red blood cells you have, which can determine if you're anemic.
There are additional tests that can be done to see if the anemia is because you are deficient in iron or some other nutritional factors. Or perhaps there's an underlying disease, and anemia is the first clue.
The level of glucose found in your blood can also determine if you're diabetic. Blood tests can also help doctors identify whether your kidneys and liver are working properly.
There are now tests to look for cancer cells or small amounts of cancer DNA that can be used for diagnosis and also monitoring for cancer in your body.
Before scheduling a blood test, Craig says to talk to your doctor to find out what's being tested and if there are any requirements. Sometimes you'll need to fast before the test. For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
To get your blood tested, you can make a trip to your local hospital or talk with your primary care doctor.
Next in sports, we will catch you up on high school girls basketball action. And for the latest from Newswatch, follow us on Instagram, X formerly Twitter, and YouTube.
The Black preaching tradition is deeply connected to gospel music. Our singers preach and our preachers sing.
God, we ask that you reinvigorate somebody.
You feel it deep down in your soul. It makes you want to shout. It makes you want to sing.
That's beautiful.
I am Sister Lunofini, and I am going to die.
This hip nun drank, smoked, wore normal clothes.
And I was like, that's a nun?
We should all be living our lives the way she's living her life now. The cancer is making me be a better me. Honestly, death doesn't end at all.
Monday at 10 on WOUB.
He wasn't just a good player, he was a superstar.
It was us against the world.
He had a kind of fury in him.
He's taking horrible abuse and death threats.
He took on everything that we were afraid to face and faced it.
We will inspire the greatest vote in the history of this nation.
He wasn't just a really good second baseman. He changed the entire country.
Thursday at 9 on WOUB.
Hardwood Heroes is back and season 14 is upon us. We have you covered for all of your high school basketball needs. Follow along as we break down both TVC Ohio and Hawking throughout their seasons.
Make sure to stay up to date with our midweek content on the Full Court Press. Follow us on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and of course, woub.org/heroes.
Tune in right here on Sunday nights at 11 p.m. and again Mondays at 6 p.m.
For all of us here at Hardwood Heroes, we're reminding you
to be heroic.
Welcome back. I'm Maddie Kiefer with sports. Girls high school basketball is beginning to wrap up in the 7-4-0, but we had some big surprises happen last night. The top-seeded Athens Bulldogs traveled to Meigs where they proved their dominance with a commanding 72-33 win. Just for reference, the Bulldogs led the Marauders 48-18 at the half. Asa Holcomb was the difference maker for Athens, scoring 28 points, 8 rebounds, 3 assists, and 4 steals in 3 quarters. The 13-2 Waterford Wildcats traveled to Newark Catholic for a tightly contested game against the undefeated Green Wave. After ending regulation tied, overtime was forced in Newark. With a chance for the Wildcats to win the game on a toss from the sideline, Newark Catholic grabbed the ball in midair, ending the game with a 62-61 Waterford loss. Following the footsteps of the Waterford game, the Vinton County Vikings had a very close game as well, falling short against the number 2 seed River Valley 50-53. Kylie Smith came alive in the last 4 minutes of the game, knocking in shot after shot. She led the Vikings, scoring 19 points and grabbing 4 steals. Those games were very exciting, and as for boys action, tonight brings 2 conference matchups as there are only a couple of weeks left into the playoffs. Starting with the TVC Ohio, the 5-11 River Valley Raiders will take on the 10-7 Nelsonville York Buckeyes. The last time these teams met, the Raiders snuck away with a 57-54 win. Moving on over to the TVC Hawking, the Federal Hawking Lancers are on a 3-game win streak and will travel to take on the 7-7 Waterford Wildcats. The Lancers took the matchup earlier in the season, 68-58. High school isn't the only level in action tonight. Ohio men's basketball hosts Buffalo in its first of 2 games at the Convo this week. The Bobcats have won 3 of their last 4 games, with their most recent victory coming on the road against Kent State last Friday. As for their opponent, the Bulls have struggled this season. Buffalo has had a 2-17 overall record and a 1-6 record in MAC play. The Bulls' lone conference victory was back on January 2nd when they took down Central Michigan in the MAC opener. Tip-off is scheduled for just a few minutes from now at 7 p.m.
Now, you mentioned the Bobcats matchup against the Bulls, but past that game, what are you expecting to see?
Well, this Bulls game opens up a really winnable schedule for these next two games. You take on 10-10 Miami and 11-9 Ball State. And with the talent that the Bobcats have, I really think they should take these next two.
Absolutely. Well, hopefully they can get a lot of wins in the future. But still ahead, how a Kentucky teen is celebrating her birthday by giving back. And coming up later on PBS, we have the PBS NewsHour, Finding Your Roots, Frontline, and more.
The president's intent was to stay in power at all costs.
This election was stolen.
I flat out said, I swore an oath. I'm not going to break it. I'm not putting on no stinking circus.
They put their faith in Donald Trump, and he deceived them.
I don't think by any large stretch can you characterize it as bipartisan.
The Select Committee laid the path down for the Department of Justice.
Donald Trump is going to be the defendant and the candidate. It's hard to imagine how it's going to play out.
Tonight at 9 on WOUB.
We cover all the angles. We report the facts. We find clarity. PBS is here, delivering the credible, reliable, thoughtful election coverage you need to make informed decisions. PBS, your trusted election source.
Did you know that you can donate property to WOUB Public Media? I'm WOUB Community Engagement and Membership Manager, Sherry Russo. Donating property is a great way to support WOUB, and you may even claim a significant tax deduction. Properties in any location, condition, and format are eligible for donation to WOUB. Back taxes, mortgage balances, and deferred maintenance do not prohibit your ability to donate. Our program covers all loans, liens, commissions, and closing costs, so long as there is equity in the property. If you have a land, residential, or commercial real estate asset that's unused or costing you money, consider giving back to the station you love by donating it to WOUB.
And the process is easy. Go to WOUB.org and click the Support tab to learn about property donations, along with many other ways to support WOUB.
Finally, tonight, a teen in Kentucky is celebrating her birthday by giving rather than receiving. Every year, Miranda Engel collects baby blankets for families in need. Since 2016, she collects blankets to deliver to a local women's shelter, pantry, and hospital. Engel says it's a meaningful change to the usual spirit of a birthday. She says the greatest part is seeing the families' faces light up when she hands the blankets to them, and she plans to continue the tradition. I just think that that is super sweet of her to do, and it's adorable.
That is so cute. And I hear that some people like keep their baby blankets for a very long time and still sleep with them till like as they get older. Yeah. That's so cute. I love that. Well, speaking of baby blankets, can you tell us, is it baby blanket weather or is it blanket weather just in general for the next few days?
Yes, I would say that it is blanket weather. We're sitting at 39 degrees in overcast skies, and that temperature is going to decrease throughout the night as we experience a cold front coming through our region. We have a lot of cloud cover again, and that's bringing with it a low pressure system that will bring precipitation into our region. So definitely snuggle up with a blanket, watch TV or read a book. It'll be perfect for that. Again, in Athens, we're sitting at 39 degrees. Up north, a little bit cooler, Columbus, 36. And tonight, again, overnight low of 34. That 70% chance of rain, most of that rain happening before midnight. Tomorrow you can anticipate drier conditions, so you won't have to worry about it on your commute to work. Then tomorrow, looking at mostly cloudy skies with 43 degrees. Back to you.
And that does it for our broadcast this evening. Thanks for watching. For Emily Case and Maddie Kiefer, I'm Haley Hollinger.
And I'm Silver Barker. Stay tuned for the PBS NewsHour coming up next. And remember, you can find the latest news anytime at WOUB.org or follow us on social media. Have a great night.
Is made possible in part